This upcoming legislative session, Florida lawmakers are going to focus on abortion. And like its income tax policy, Florida is following Texas's lead. The U.S. Supreme Court has upheld a Texas law that would ban nearly all abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy, a decision that was likely the biggest blow to abortion rights in the Roe v. Wade era. So in Republican-controlled Florida, the future has abortion rights advocates worried. In October, activists staged rallies all over the state, calling on legislators to protect the right to choose. Meanwhile, Governor Ron DeSantis ran on passing abortion restrictions. In 2020, the legislature helped him keep his promise by passing a law that made it illegal for a minor to get an abortion without parental consent. Republican leaders say more abortion restrictions are coming. Let's do a quick 3-2-1 on the abortion debate in Florida. When lawmakers in Tallahassee try to pass abortion restrictions, they'll have to overcome 3 decades of state-level precedent. That means doing battle with the way the courts have interpreted the Florida Constitution. In 1989, Florida Supreme Court justices ruled that an amendment to the state constitution gave Floridians the fundamental right to an abortion. That amendment, cited by the court, was passed in 1980. It read, "Every natural person has the right to be let alone and free from governmental intrusion into the person's private life." This ruling was huge because justices found that Florida's abortion protections are written specifically in the state constitution. That's different from 1973's Roe v. Wade. U.S. Supreme Court justices found that privacy was a right implied in the U.S. Constitution. There's no implication of privacy in the Florida Constitution. It's right there. Still, if a new abortion law passes and is challenged in state court, which is likely, the people trying to get the law struck down will face a very different court than the one that existed in 1989. All 7 justices currently on the Florida Supreme Court were appointed by Republican governors. The court of 1989 was much more liberal. 2 other states to watch, Texas and Mississippi. The Supreme Court's ruling on Texas's law was a huge win for anti-abortion activists and religious groups. But it didn't decide the legal fate of the procedure. Texas's law was essentially upheld because of a technicality. Regular citizens are asked to enforce the law by reporting any violations they see to the state. But the people who sued, hoping to get the law struck down, named specific officials in their lawsuit. The Supreme Court found that the law couldn't be struck down because no one named in the lawsuit was actually charged with enforcing the law. They didn't sue everyone in Texas, so the law stood, at least temporarily. More legal challenges are on the way. The U.S. Supreme Court will soon get a chance to weigh in much more definitively on abortion itself when it hears a challenge to a Mississippi law that bans most abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. In a legal brief, Governor DeSantis asked the Supreme Court to uphold the ban and to overturn the precedent set by the landmark Roe v. Wade case. The court's decision in the Mississippi case will have massive implications, but we don't know if we'll get an opinion in time for Florida lawmakers to do anything about it. Florida's Republican leaders have said they will pursue more abortion restrictions, but they're being coy. When I texted Senate President Wilton Simpson to ask if he would support a Texas-style heartbeat bill, he sent me back an emoji, this emoji. I asked him to follow up, but he didn't elaborate. Republicans have already filed some abortion bills, but proposals backed by Simpson and House Speaker Chris Sprowls, by far the 2 most important lawmakers, have yet to be released. The governor hasn't made his agenda known either. The legislative session starts January 11th. Stay tuned for specific dates and times, and fair warning, the schedule does change a lot up there. If you enjoy these videos, let us know by subscribing to our channel. Got a topic you'd like to see explained? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching.